Well, California's technology industry has often been cited as a cause for the state's growing inequality. Mark Benioff, co-CEO of San Francisco-based Salesforce, says his own city is kind of a train wreck. He said it has a real inequality problem, and it's because of the tech sector. In an interview at the World Economic Forum in Davos, he said, "We have an incredible technology industry, one that every city in the world craves, and yet at the same time, we have a horrible homeless problem." He says it's something every CEO needs to focus on. So how did California get to this point? Well, let's talk about that with Nicholas Economides, professor of economics at the Leonard N School of Business. He joins us live from San Francisco. Welcome to the show.
Yes, good to be here.
Now, in context, California is the world's 5th largest economy. But what are the underlying issues that culminated in this teachers' strike?
Well, the teachers feel like they're not being very well paid, and that may be true, but doesn't mean that necessarily the whole state of California has a problem. I mean, this seems to be a regional problem, a local problem.
So then how reflective is the teacher situation of the broader concerns when it comes to income inequality in California as a whole?
Well, there is significant income inequality because wealth tends to be concentrated on the very few founders of very successful companies. But at the same time, the fact that California doesn't have a deficit anymore should also be attributed to the fact that some of these founders paid huge taxes to the state of California. And for example, when Facebook made an IPO, suddenly the California budget was balanced. Or these are so it's important to look at the benefits of the high technology industry and not just the inequality they might produce.
Because we do tend to see a lot of the state's large industries, especially tech and entertainment, really being in the spotlight when it comes to income inequality. What are some of the other factors that are driving that?
Well, I think that the United States as a whole has lost manufacturing jobs, and so does California. And although there are some very serious efforts at the federal government by President Trump to bring back manufacturing jobs, there are no such efforts in California. And people who used to work in those manufacturing jobs, which used to be well paid, now don't have those available, and they end up in lower paid jobs. Of course, there are some very good high-paid jobs in high technology industry, but you need special training, and it's not easy. I would say it's practically impossible to take people in their 50s who used to be in manufacturing and somehow make them into high technology workers.
So then you talked about this issue of Donald Trump wanting to bring manufacturing jobs back. That doesn't necessarily jive with the sorts of industries, though, that are in Silicon Valley. So what can really be done? Is it more of a skills issue? Where's the biggest divide?
Well, I wouldn't agree with you about the issues in Silicon Valley. For example, Apple sells phones, devices that are mostly made in China. They could be made in the United States. I mean, it's not out of the question. It's probably an issue of how expensive they would be if they were made in the United States, and it's an issue of exactly how this would happen. But I don't think it's out of the question that Silicon Valley type of high technology industry cannot locate some manufacturing plants in California.
But it's certainly not something that we're seeing at the moment. Obviously, right now, as you mentioned, a lot of the manufacturing is still taking place overseas. But as we look at this new California governor's budget and his proposals, what does that tell us about his economic vision for the state?
Well, to me, it says that the governor wants to be president. He's making broad appeals to extra medical coverage for illegal immigrants. He's making a broad appeal to a Marshall Plan for subsidized housing. These are areas which would need very considerable extra money, which is not necessarily available, but at the same time would be good for the political career of the new governor.
Now, as we know, we've seen companies like Amazon relocating some of their headquarters to other parts of the country. And we know that Silicon Valley is also looking at other states, other cities. How can they avoid some of the income inequality issues that we saw in Silicon Valley? How do we avoid repeating those mistakes when you have states really rolling out the red carpet when it comes to tax breaks?
Well, I don't think that companies should be given special treatment on taxes. And I would say that also about Apple in Ireland or Amazon in New York. Nevertheless, the resulting income inequality that we see in California is not because Apple or Microsoft or Yahoo got special treatment. It just comes up because the manufacturing jobs were eliminated and the high technology jobs are very well paid, and additionally you don't need so many workers in high technology, which means that a lot of money, a lot of the wealth that is being created goes to the few owners or the shareholders of these companies, which don't necessarily tend to be poor. I mean, they typically are not poor. So that creates on its own an inequality, and it's not like a huge mistake of the state of California. But I'm afraid it is the way that things are going to evolve, that this inequality is built in the information technology, in the new high technology that we are going to see more and more of.
All right, thank you so much. Nicholas Economides there, economics professor at the Leonard N. School of Business.